Memo Rojas Jr. is one of two items in this year's Cars diecast line that are straight up re-releases of Super Chases. The first time this has ever happened in the toy line. Of course, that turned some heads, caused some conversations, a lot of people talking and sharing their opinions about this, mainly when Flash Nielsen, the first of these two to come out, released a couple months back. I already shared my 2 cents on the matter back when I reviewed Flash a few months ago, but to make a long story short, I don't really mind bringing back Super Chases so long as it doesn't become a super frequent thing. These are limited edition cars that were limited to only a couple thousand pieces 14 years ago. These guys came out in 2012. They were 2 of the first ever Super Chases, and we haven't had new Super Chases since 2020, where we just had one. It seems there's no interest in bringing back Super Chases, so I don't mind going and re-releasing a few again, so long as they save this, have this be a special occasion, right? I don't want this to be a super frequent thing. If we got 1 or 2 Super Chases re-released every few years, or maybe like 1 a year for the next few years like they were doing with regular chases for a bit, I don't really mind. I think it's nice to bring them back because it allows collectors to add them to their collection, and more importantly, kids, kids that are buying cars now were not born in 2012. Crazy to think, right, how time passes, but yeah, I mean, if you're a little kid who wants to get some cars, you're not going to be able to find these for reasonable prices. So to let them out back on store shelves, I think is pretty nice. And hey, I'm certainly not complaining because I didn't have either Flash or Memo before this year. So yeah. Anyway, guys, welcome back to another review and to another 2026 Cars Diecast review. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the one and only Memo Rojas Jr. from the 2026 Cars Diecast line. Just like Flash Nielsen, just like all those 2012 Super Chases, these are, of course, the characters that replaced Jeff Gorvette in the different international dubs of Cars 2, all based on actual real-world racers from other different countries. In the case of Memo, he appears in the Latin American Spanish version of Cars 2. Memo Rojas Jr. is, of course, a Mexican racer voiced by, well, Memo Rojas Jr., the real guy, the real actual person, Memo Rojas Jr. No carified name here. His name is just Memo Rojas Jr. in real life. Now, before we get started with the review, it's time to once again take out the T-Toy Reviews Die Bingo. For those of you who haven't been watching my recent reviews, this is something funny that I introduced about a week or so back that my friend Calypso and I made together. It's a bingo board of things that I tend to often say in my reviews, say or do, and we're trying to see how long it'll take to check off the entire board. So if I do anything here that throughout the review that counts, let me know down in the comments. So yeah, I will have to get a new pen though, because my last one, the back exploded and I don't know where it went. So yeah, anyway, we've got this very nice artwork of Memo Rojas Jr. here. Of course, flipping onto the back, we can see some of the other Cars 2 items out this year, including Flash, Francesco, Mater with Balloon, Carlo Veloso, Nigel Gearsley, and Race Team Fillmore with headset. So yeah, let's get this guy right on out of the package. Now, I actually have the Disney Store version of Memo, who I bought many years ago. He came out back in like 2018, 2019. His pullback release is specifically what this is. I know they did some versions of Memo. I think they even did an Ice Racer Memo, if I remember correctly. But, I got Disney Store Memo because, well, I didn't have regular Memo, and now I do, and now we could compare them. Now, I do also want to bring out Flash Nielsen. I expected these two to have the exact same facial expression, but actually they don't. While Flash and Vitaly Petrov, who I have the Ice Racer of, both have the exact same face as just regular old Max Schnell, Memo here actually has a unique face, one that I believe only he has, which is super nice. It's always been kind of awkward that all of these guys, are repaints of Max Schnell, both here and in the international cuts of the movie. It was definitely probably a cost-saving thing, but yeah, I really appreciate that he was given his own facial expression. Weirdly enough, he does have a different eye color. than his Disney Store release. The Disney Store one has green eyes, and this one has blue eyes. Disney Store item also has an antenna on the back, which is film accurate. That's just one of the benefits of Disney Store working in larger scale. It's absolutely crazy to have these two together, to have Flash and Memo in my collection, these new releases of them. They're both so glossy, something that I don't think was the case on the originals. And, you know, with the eye plates and everything, you can clearly identify an original Super Chase, Memo, and Flash from a 2026 traditional single of the two. I really like how this guy looks. I like how simple he is, how, of course, he embodies the Mexican flag in a similar way to a lot of other World Grand Prix racers. Just how they all incorporate their flag colors. I just really, really like the simplicity here. Red in the front, white in the middle, green in the back, as well as this super cool eagle design. I absolutely love how this looks. It's just such a cool, stylized design. You can see the green is not as green, I'd argue. It's a bit of a more, I don't know, it's a little more of a bluish green here than it is on the Disney Store item. And I think I honestly like the coloring of the Disney Store one better, but it all comes down to what's more accurate, and honestly, looks like the Mattel diecast is a bit more correct. Shocker, the Mattel version is more accurate than the Disney Store one. Wow, that's crazy. Never seen that happen before, right, Memo? Oh shoot, I have to knock that off the bingo list. Wait a minute. Item falls off the shelf. Shoot, okay. Okay. I was like, it would be funny if I rolled him off the shelf, and right when I was gonna do it, I was like, wait, that's on the bingo board, so I'm gonna have to check that off. Okay, see, because I don't really remember what I put on the bingo board, but yeah, guys, we need a new pen. Hey, the joke was worth the bingo spot. Is Memo okay down there? It's okay, we'll get him later. Moving on to the back, really not much to say here, except we see the flag once again, which is pretty nice. I like that they use this little space to fit in a detail. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. Of course, like all versions of Max Schnell, he does have the carbon fiber detailing. It is textured, but definitely not as much so as Max. It seems like kind of intentionally glossed over. Yeah, there is a look at the other side. And finally, there is a look at the base, which of course is going to be pretty blank like all Max Schnell model cars are. I really like how this guy turned out. Like I said at the start of the review, I'm happy to see these obscure Super Chases come back to the Cars diecast line. I always like seeing the Cars diecast line, you know, try out something new and interesting, bring back new and interesting things. And I think this year has been, don't worry, we saved the other memo, a really unique year for bringing back interesting things. 2 Super Chases, Myco 7. I think it's just been a really good year for very interesting and unique re-releases. And when your toy line has been out for 20 years, why not try to experiment with what cars you bring back, right? Not only do I think it's a really cool way to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Cars, bringing back some of these more interesting items like a car from a canceled Cars tune and these Cars 2 characters that only appear in the international cuts. These are also things that are going to make this year stand out, not only now, but in the future. 5-10 years from now, when we look back on the 2026 Cars diecast line, we'll remember it for many things, but one of the things we'll remember it for will be, oh yeah, it's the year they brought back some Super Chases, and I think that's important. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.